So in this video we're going to learn about each other by asking questions. But first we have to talk about how we ask questions in Guernsey French. Now there's a couple of ways to do this, but the most straightforward way is to put Est-ch in front of a statement. And just putting that in front of the statement turns it into a question. So the words actually mean, is it that? So here's an example. Tu es là means you are there. So Est-ch que tu es là means, is it that you are there? Or are you there for short? Another example is, Est-ch que tu meurs ici? Is it that you live here? So here are some keywords or words that we've used already. La.
La. La.
La, that means there. Ici.
Ishai. Ishai.
Ici, that means here. And meur.
Meur. Meur.
Meur, that means to live. So here are some of the ones that we're going to be using shortly. Oim.
Oim. Oim.
Oim, and that means like. Marcher.
Marcher. Marcher.
Marcher is to walk. Cocher.
Cocher. Cocher.
Cocher is to drive. And moto.
Moto. Moto.
Moto is a car. So we're going to start to use some of these. Est-ch que tu aimes à marcher?
Oui, j'aime à marcher.
Est-ch que tu aimes à cocher ton moto?
Mon eye, j'aime à marcher.
Okay, so let's think about this. The construction of the question seems a bit clumsy because we have to say Est-ch que. But when you say it quickly, it essentially merges into one word. So instead of saying Est-ch que tu es là, people would say Est-ch que tu es là. So it's compressed down a bit. And anyway, we wouldn't really say, is it that you are there in English? We'd say, are you there? And we can also say this in Guernsey French, but it's a bit more complicated, and we'll discuss that later on. It's essentially an inversion. You just invert you are there into are you there. You can do that in English, and you can also do it in Guernsey French. But we haven't discussed that yet. Okay, so let's try out some more questions and answers. So here are some words we'll be using. Coffee.
Coffee. Coffee.
Coffee is coffee. Tea.
Tea. Tea.
Tea is tea. Be.
Be. Be.
Be is drink, or to drink. Viande.
Viande. Viande.
Viande is meat. Paissaon.
Paissaon. Paissaon.
Paissaon is fish. Legume.
Legume. Legume.
Legume is vegetable. Mange.
Mange. Mange.
Mange is to eat, or just eat. So, est-ch que tu bois du café?
Ouais, je bois du café.
Est-ch que tu bois du thé?
Ouais, je bois du thé.
Est-ch que tu manges la viande?
Non, non, je mange des légumes.
Est-ch que tu manges la viande?
Non, I. Je mange de paissaon.
Okay, so we see the word I is je in Guernsey French, and the word for you is tu. So we've seen that in what we've been saying. There's also a plural of the form you if we are talking to more than one person, and the word for you in that case is vous. So I'm going to chat a little bit about the apparent use of English words in Guernsey French. So non-Guernsey French speakers often say that English words seem to be used in Guernsey French quite often, rather than a French word. And they might give examples like chair rather than chaise, or coupe rather than tasse. So other examples might be ice cream rather than glass. So there are several different effects at work here, but let's start with chair and coupe. The point here is that modern English derives from a mixture of Anglo-Saxon spoken by the natives of England when the Normans invaded in 1066, and the Norman French which the conquerors spoke. Guernsey French, as one of the forms of Norman French, still retains these words, whereas Standard French now uses other forms. So the English word chair and cup come from the Norman French forms, so it's English following the Norman French rather than the other way around. I should say, before the experts get too agitated, that the reality is far more complex. So for example, chair and coupe are still used in Standard French in different contexts, but the essential point is that Guernsey French use predates the English use, and that's the essential point. Other use of English words, such as ice cream or internet, obviously don't fall into this class. So first of all, one should say that the English language is so dominant now that many languages use internet rather than a word constructed in their own language. So the most famous example is le weekend in French. So Guernsey French is no exception here. However, since the proportion of Guernsey people who stopped speaking Guernsey French started to decline quite early on, even such terms as ice cream or washing machine were frequently referred to in the English. So there are perfectly good words that could be used for these things, such as en machine à laver, for washing machine, which incidentally appears in the dictionary of Marie de Gavi. So we'll try to use those forms when we can. Finally, because many Guernsey French speakers speak English far more than Guernsey French, they may just find it easier to remember the English word and give it a fake ending to sound like Guernsey French. So for example, one hears knittai for to knit, and the I ending is just a common verb ending in Guernsey French. But there's a perfectly good verb for to knit in Guernsey French, ouvroy, which probably the speaker knows, but couldn't find it quickly enough in rapid speech. So here we'll try to avoid these pitfalls when possible, but some English-inspired words are now part of Guernsey French. So an example we've used already is le moto for car.